There is no lack of water here, unless you try to establish a city where no city should be. That's the solitary Edward Abbey. Edward Abbey points out the inherent conflicts of establishing city in the West, where the arid land cannot support ever-growing cities and agricultural operations. From 1803 to 1848, in American history, the United States gained a lot of land through the Louisiana Purchase, Texas independence, the purchase of Oregon Territory, and the Mexican-American War. After the United States gained so much land, people began to consider migrating to the West, manifest destiny, a prevalent belief in the God-driven expansion from the eastern side of the U.S. to the West, originated in the 1850s. In a famous painting called American Progress by Joan Guest, there is a colossal gorgeous angel in the middle of the canvas. She represents the hope and expectations of the Western migrants. On the right side of the canvas, the Easterners have already started creating communities, building trains, and developing agriculture. The left side of the painting is full of danger and uncertainty, and Native Americans flee from the Easterners who are moving westward. The painting creates a feeling of hope for the pioneers moving from the east to the west, following the idea of manifest destiny. In 1862, the United States carried out the Homestead Act. The Homestead Act encouraged people to migrate to the west by providing 160 acres of land for free to pioneers, capitalizing on the glory of the West in the American imagination. However, the migration did not go as well as expected. John Wesley Powell, a great explorer and geologist, who explored the Colorado River over the course of a 3-month expedition, made pivotal contributions to the West. In 1878, Powell published a report informing people that the settlement and development of the West should be limited by the lack of water. Powell concluded that, due to the region's scarce surface water, no more than 3% of West could ever be successfully irrigated. Following this principle, he argued for the reform of the nation's land laws. Standard 160-acre plots worked fine in muggy environs, where gray skies were lumpy with the moisture. They made no sense in the sand-drenched West, with its flood of glaring light. Quote, Stephen Grace. With such an arid environment, the government tried to establish a comprehensive series of policies to manage water. First, the government considered how to divide the water reasonably for decreasing conflicts as much as possible. Had the government not established any doctrine to regulate or manage distribution of water, the tragedy of commons would have happened. The tragedy of commons, a well-known ecological concept, it illustrates that people tend to maximize their own interest without